Welcome to your weekend focus for August the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, 2018. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly. And thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send to me each and every day. Look at what we get. We get the sun. Card jumped out. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe that we have picked up knowledge and wisdom, and that we have our intuition, our angels, our guides, God to lead us in the right path, that we have been prepared for it, that we have been preparing for it, that we're ready to plant new seeds, that we're ready to leave the past in the past, to allow healing in our life, completion in our life. So let's put that back in. We do have the 22 energy for Friday. So, that can bring in great success. Great success if we take the time to look at the plan, revisit the plan, take it apart, put it back together again, to step into our plan, to allow completion and healing, endings, closure, where it needs to be in order for us to go forward. What hinders us, what slows us down, and look at ways of removing that or minimizing that in our life so that we can move forward. 22 brings in such powerful, beautiful energy, but it's not easy energy because we have to be committed to our path. We have to do something every day to show that we are on track to stay in focus. So, put that back into the deck and see what we get for this weekend. Seven of Pentacles, what are we cultivating? Where is our energy? Where is our focus? Is that where it needs to be? Are we being diverted on our path? Are we allowing it? Are we controlling it? Are we moving in the direction we want? So what are we cultivating? How are we preparing the soil for the new seeds that we'll be planting on August the 11th for the solar eclipse? What weeds are we pulling out? What rocks are we moving away? What nutrients are we adding to the soil? In order for our seeds to take root, to grow and mature, and win all the county fairs, and what we have grown, and what we have, our goals, our dreams, our desires. We have the Six of Wands. So Six of Wands is to celebrate your successes. We could even step into some successes by being able to make a commitment to ourselves to put some kind of closure in our life, walk away from a bad habit or a bad behavior, to recognize it about ourselves. This is the success card. This is where the support comes in and cheers you on. People say, yes, I love you, I support you, I respect you, I'll help you, I will co-create with you. This is paying attention where we have changed our path for the better and to celebrate ourselves. And it's not a time to rest on our laurels. It's not a time to lay back and say, okay, I can take a break. I've gotten to this point. We're in full armor here. We're ready to charge forward to our next path, our next development, our next growth pattern in our lives. A new beginning, a new start. So, a lot of the planets are in retrograde. So, this is a good time to look back, but not at the things we failed at or where we dropped the ball, but rather where we've had our successes, where we've moved ourselves forward in some way, in the way in which we wanted to go. Our card in the middle is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands, it's in our conflict area here, so we may not feel that we are prepared. We may be sitting on the fence on a lot of things. We may not know which way is the right way to go, what talents and abilities to really hone in on, and which ones to put on the back burner for the time being. We may not know when we look backwards what parts of our life really are preparing us for the next adventure, the new beginning, the new day dawning. We stand in shadow here, so it's okay not to know. It's okay to be weighing out the pros and cons, the positives and the negatives of what we've done and what we want to take forward with us, what we need to leave behind us. So even though it's in our conflict area, it actually, it's telling us to not, jump the starting gun, or it's taking a step back. It's making sure that you're prepared. It's okay not to know, that it will be revealed to you if you give it thought, if you give it reflection this weekend. We have the moon in Taurus for most of the weekend, so it is a beautiful time to just stop and smell the roses. Enjoy life a little bit. Enjoy the people around you, your surroundings, those little tiny moments that we let slip through because we're too busy focusing on anything else. To be present. And try that when somebody's talking to you. Put away the cell phone. Stop thinking about what you need to get at the market and give them your full attention. Stop doing the dishes or clearing the table, or just sit there and listen to them. Whether it's a child or a parent or a soulmate or a best friend or a coworker. To really be present in the conversation in the moment. Because Taurus energy is all about growing or stepping into that feeling of being grounded, being supported. And I think we may even, get some answers through taking our time, relaxing a little bit. Sometimes when we put the problem on the back burner, our subconscious goes to work and the real solution pops out. That's why, when we go to sleep and we're all upset, we can't sleep and we're tossing and we're turning, we've got this big decision that we have to make tomorrow, or this big presentation, or this conversation that we need to have, and we're in conflict. We don't know what to do. And we finally fall asleep, and in the morning we wake up and we go, oh, I could just do this. This will work out perfectly. Why didn't I think of that last night? But our subconscious goes to work for us. So maybe it is taking some of our problems and putting it to the back burner. Those little distractions in life, and focus a little bit more on the big picture and where we want to go, of what we really truly want to step into, and how to create that, and what hinders us from that, whether it's financial or time or energy, and how we can gain control of that area or those areas of our life going forward. We have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands has been very popular over this eclipse season, showing us that we have reached the stage of maturity, that the answers and the wisdom are within us, that we only need to ask ourselves and then listen for the answer, that it will show us the new ways to go forward, how to create something new, or a new behavior, or a new, we always think of letting go of something or putting some closure on something or some ending on something as a negative. We even look at healing as, we weren't strong enough to make it through, so we have to forgive ourselves or another. And that's simply not the case. It strengthens us. It makes us stronger. It makes us wiser. And some of those things that we want to let go of aren't very good for us in the first place. So why are we trying to hang on to those things? Aces being new paths are awaiting you. You haven't stepped into it yet. So if new experiences are happening, great, but there's more to it. There's a broader horizon. And we have the Queen of Swords. She's been popular too, and I really get her as a sense of summoning in her affirmations, her mantras, her mission statements. And she holds that sword up to say that doesn't belong and cutting it out of her life. So maybe towards the end of the weekend, we're a little clearer on making some decisions about where we want to move forward. We're definitely not there at the beginning of the weekend. So don't push yourself. Let the answers come to you through reflection, through prayer, through meditation, through being present. Get some affirmation cards here. The Ace of Fire. So 2 aces appear. 2 aces telling us about our new beginnings that are awaiting us on our path, to believe in ourselves. Spirit-powered action, inspired transformation, access to co-creative power. When I feel my connection to spirit, I see unlimited potential for transformation. There is no reason to fear because I am fully supported in imagining something new and daring to make it happen. This is a time to dream big, and I can be bold and free because spirit inspires me to turn my dreams into reality. So when I feel my connection to spirit, I see unlimited potential for transformation. So know that you are surrounded by angels, by spirit guides, past loved ones, source, God, that divine energy. This is the time to dream big. No little dreams on the table, big picture. We have the Four of Earth, very much a grounded kind of energy there. There's the Taurus moon for us. Ownership, the beauty of the divine order, trusting in a solid foundation. Even if I feel shaken up and unable to understand why things happen as they do, I know for certain that divine order manifests in all aspects of my life. What I have built rests on a solid foundation, so there is no need to fear. While it is true that nothing is forever in the material world, I find security in the existence of a divine plan. Spirit is always there to remind me that I am exactly where I am meant to be for my highest good and the highest good of all, and that I always have abundance available to me. It is truly waiting for you. You're exactly where you are meant to be. You didn't mess up. You gained wisdom and knowledge. I think it was Edison who said, I didn't fail 99 times. I just figured out 99 ways it wouldn't work. Gaining knowledge, gaining understanding. Even if I feel shaken up and unable to understand why things happen as they do, I know for certain that divine order manifests in all aspects of my life. So maybe we can't see the good in it today. Maybe we won't see the good in it for 10 or 20 years. But one day you'll go, aha, that's why. If that wouldn't have happened to me, I'd never be here today. It changed my life. It put me on the path that I needed to be on. One more. 7 of Earth. So we're really getting grounded here today, aren't we? For this weekend. We'll turn over to the 7. Opening to new strategy. Being at a crossroads, a decision to make. As I reflect on my progress to date and see where I stand, I contemplate whether I want to continue singing the same song or change my tune. I am always free to go back and reimagine what I might co-create. If what I manifest does not serve me as I thought it might, I don't have to be afraid to admit that it is no longer for me. Whatever I choose to do, I am not afraid to start over, for I feel assured that Spirit will always support my highest good. So this is saying to dream big, and when you are dreaming big, take a risk in your mind of what your potential truly is, of where you can truly go. And yes, decisions. Decisions by the end of the weekend of what doesn't belong in your life anymore, where there needs to be an ending, where there needs to be a closure, where you need to move away from something. If you've been looking for a job forever and a day, then isn't that a beautiful closure or ending to get a new job, to work on getting a new job rather than saying I don't have a job, to say I'm going towards a new job. I'm going towards that paycheck. I'm going towards security. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to brush up my resume. I'm going to get out there and meet people who might know somebody, who might need my services, my talents, my abilities, what I bring to the table. And that's just one thing. Maybe it is you drink too much, or you smoke, or you eat too much, or you gamble, or whatever it is. You shop too much, you spend too much money on frivolous things, so you don't have enough to pay the bills because of it. Whatever it is. Isn't it beautiful that we have this period of time right now to put an ending or a closure, a healing, forgive ourselves for the past, and step into the future? Make a decision to step into the future. And we'll get our wonderful animal cards here. Let it be. Let it be. I think of the Beatles, and I think of Paul McCartney's story about his mother. He was young, and he was, just torn. He was really at the crossroads, like we are this weekend, and wondering, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I not do this? Should I not do that? And he was, tossing and turning, and he had a dream, and his mother came to him and said, let it be. And so that song is based on that dream of his mother coming to him and saying, let it be. Don't worry about everything. There is a divine order. All you have to do is take the steps. You'll take the right ones. Follow your intuition. Does it feel right? Does it bring in fear? Does it bring in anxiety? Because if it brings in fear, if it brings in anxiety, then chances are you're going against something that you truly want to do, where you want to be. You're trying to compromise your step forward in some way. You're trying to please maybe somebody else in your step forward rather than being true to yourself. Well, let's see what the card says, but our little hedgehog says, let it be, release and time out. With the past, I have nothing to do, nor with the future, I live in the now. Hedgehog reminds you to stop putting so much fear into your life and instead just let it be. Sometimes when you give your issue breathing room, it corrects itself. When we experience fear or frustration, we immediately tense up our body, mind, and spirit, which hinders the flow of what we want to come to us. And we begin to visualize everything that we don't want instead of what we do. Shift your thoughts to what you want, not what you don't. There is a lesson in every life test, even if it can be painful. By being grateful instead of angry, we weigh the emotion. The weight of the emotion will begin to gently heal and release itself from your grip. Therefore, if you're experiencing frustration or fear with any aspect of your life, career, money, love, etc., Take a few moments a day and visualize how you want that area to look. When you begin to say negative things such as, I will never have the money to do the things I want, say to yourself, stop. And then repeat what you do want. I have enough money to do the things that I want. It takes training, but before you know it, the things you don't want will begin to stop happening, and the things that you do want will start flowing. You can't hitchhike a ride on somebody else's life, and if you do, you just may get pricked. Instead, you must find your own way and do the work yourself. There is always someone there to help light the lantern, but it is you who must keep the flame lit. Always know that there are those who believe in you. With every dream accomplished or every dream failed, remember that the most important thing is for you to continually dream the dream no matter what. So if you were, try and have a mantra for yourself, just a sentence, okay? And try and say it as many times a day throughout this weekend. And watch how your focus in your life starts to change. Now, the secret to a mantra is it's short and sweet. But it's the same words over and over again. I am courageous. I am strong. Now, here's the thing. You also, when you say the mantra, a visual image will try to pop up. And so when you say to yourself, I am, well, we know we're talking about ourselves. Our brain says, okay, we're talking about us here. And you say courageous, and your brain will start to pull up every form, or every time it'll go into that huge filing cabinet that you have in your brain and pull out every time that you were courageous or you saw courage. Maybe it was in a movie. Maybe you think of a lion. Maybe you think of, okay, and that's where the disconnect comes in to what we are saying and to what we want to come into our lives. So take a little bit of time to visualize, give it some adverbs. See how you are courageous. You know, when we say, oh, that's a pretty sunset, we don't say that's a pretty sunset because all of a sudden the sunset is 3,000 different sunsets on the calm water with not a cloud in the sky, slowly slipping down on the horizon. Sparkling off the water. See the same sunset every time. So see that image that you want to be going forward. And you may just see yourself standing strong and proud and true if you are courageous. I give love. Well, how do you give love? I give. Your brain understands that, but then you say love. Well, in what way? There's so many ways that we can love something. So in what ways do you give love? What is your definition of love? Where do you want to give that love? Is it a certain somebody? Is it a certain thing? Is it a career? Is it yourself? Now, just before I go, I'm packing up. I didn't want, I really just didn't know how to say this, and I think I didn't want to say this because if I said it out loud, it would be true. And so I've been planning for, oh, 6 months, more than 6 months, maybe a couple of years actually. It's slowly been in the works, but everybody that watches me on a regular basis knows that I am one of the main caregivers for my mother, and it's tiring. And she's reaching a point now where I need to make new decisions. So we've got her all packed up, and we're getting in a car, and we're driving for 3 or 4 days because Canada is a big country, and we have family on one of the coasts. We live right inland, so it's like a 24-hour straight drive to where we're going, and I'm dealing with a 90-year-old mother with dementia, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get there fast, if it's slow motion, stop every 2 hours. We'll see. So I don't know how to predict the next month of my life. I am taking my cards and all my stuff. So, but if I disconnect to you guys from you guys for a couple of days, know that I am trying my best to be present for you, to be here. Um, it was a hard decision, but I have to make sure that my mother is safe at all times, and it's getting to the point where I can't do that, and it would be selfish of me to try and keep her in a situation that may not be the best situation for her. So we're going to try and see if this will be a beautiful situation for her. There'll be lots of people to love her and care for her, and that's just what I want for my mom, to be loved and cared for. So, um, and I know that where I'm going, Wi-Fi and stuff like that is like non-existent in areas. So I don't know how I'm going to get my videos up to you, but I am going to do my very, very, very best. So please have some patience with me. Please send me your love. This has been one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make um, in my life, and I have to do the right thing. So. Right now, everybody's in agreement that this is the right thing for mom, and that's the most important thing, because I can't remember a time when my mom didn't think before she thought, is this the right thing for my daughter? So, um, until we meet again, remember, I do love you,